Hello everyone, it's Dr. Kellie Cassidy here, clinical psychologist and owner at Prosper Health Collective in Burragoon and Canning Vale. As part of our month's focus on trauma, today I want to talk to you about something called EMDR. Now you may not have ever heard of it or have any idea what it is, and hopefully today I'm going to teach you a little bit about it. So EMDR uses the letters from the words eye movement desensitization reprocessing, which as you can see is a whole mouthful, and it's much easier to say EMDR. But essentially what it is it's what I'd call a non-traditional treatment for particularly PTSD, but also emerging evidence is coming out to treat a lot of other conditions as well, like panic attacks, addictions, eating disorders, a whole host of research in different areas coming. But certainly originally it is a treatment for PTSD, and there's a lot of good research to support its use for people who have PTSD. Now, to help you understand what it is and why I call it a non-traditional treatment approach is because it's not a talking therapy. Most people think when they come to see a psychologist, they talk to the psychologist and talk back. And EMDR, whilst has elements of that, the actual core of the treatment itself isn't like that at all. The eye movement part of it comes from where originally we ask people to hold a memory, their traumatic memory in their mind, and we pop our two fingers up like this and we ask them to track with their eyes back and forward, my fingers, whilst holding that memory in mind, as well as the body sensations and the feelings and the thoughts that go along with that memory. Now that might seem a little bit strange and a little bit out there, but if you understand what we think happens, and certainly we don't know this for sure, but if we understand what we think happens when people experience trauma and they develop PTSD, it kind of makes sense. So essentially we think that because the emotions are so distressing when someone experiences trauma, that memory gets locked in their brain rather than being processed as it normally would and stored away in your long-term memory. And so because it hasn't been processed properly, it's easily activated and it's easily triggered by other reminders in the environment. And we think that that's what's going on. Now with EMDR, the whole point of moving the fingers is that it's stimulating both sides of the brain, okay? And essentially that's what we think also happens in the REM phase of sleep. And often that's when our brain is processing information as well. So it seems to work on that system to activate people's natural processing of a memory so that it can be stored away rather than always being live and as if it's only just happened, in recent times. We can, instead of what's come out recently, while it's still called EMDR, stimulate the brain in other ways. So some psychologists might prefer to use tapping and ask people to tap on their legs or tap their feet back and forth. Some use headphones with sounds that go back and forth between the ears, or they might use vibrations as little tools, I call them buzzies, that you can hold that buzz back and forth to each hand, again stimulating each side of the brain whilst you're holding onto that memory and allowing the brain to do the processing. Now obviously there's a whole lot more involved to it than that, but it gives you a little bit of a flavour for what EMDR is all about. What we're really asking is for the brain to do the work, and in that way we tend to find that people improve faster, that they actually are able to process their traumatic events much quicker than they have been able to in other types of therapy. So there can definitely be some benefits to it in that way. As I said before, it's a lot of research too that is really showing us that it's quite an effective treatment. I hope that kind of makes sense. There are a number of the therapists at Prosper Health Collective that are trained in EMDR. If you think it might be helpful for you, or you know someone who might find it helpful, please contact us, ask us some more questions about it. That's probably all for me for today though. So as always, here at Prosper Health Collective, we're working together with you to help you flourish and thrive. I will look forward to speaking with you again very, very soon. Bye for now.